There is a law, a silent, invisible law, that governs all manifestation. It is a law that never fails, never wavers, and never questions. It simply obeys. This law responds not to fear, not to anxiety, not to effort, but to the quiet power of unwavering faith and divine repetition. The words we speak, when aligned with divine law, become the vessels that carry substance into form. So today, I say unto you, repeat this until the money comes. Repeat it not as a beggar, but as a master. Speak not with the trembling tone of hope, but with the triumphant voice of knowing. Say it with the certainty of sunrise, with the rhythm of rain, with the stillness of stars. For what you decree with faith, life must deliver. Say it with me, all the money that belongs to me by divine right is now released and flows to me in perfect ways. There is no lack in the divine mind. There is no delay in divine timing. There is only the law awaiting your command. And you, dear soul, are the commander, not of others, not of things, but of the word. When the word is spoken with alignment, when it is repeated with power, when it is saturated with belief, it must return with evidence. Speak these words daily. Speak them hourly if you must. Speak them as you walk, as you sit, as you sleep. Let your subconscious become saturated with this one truth. Money is mine by divine right, and it now comes to me with ease. You are not striving for money. You are not chasing money. You are not worried about money. You are simply commanding what is already yours to appear. You are moving from the invisible to the visible, from idea to demonstration. And that journey begins and ends with the word. Repetition is not begging. It is chiseling. It is carving away disbelief. It is dissolving fear. It is anchoring the soul in truth. Each time you say, my supply is endless, inexhaustible, and immediate. You are building the bridge over which your prosperity must walk. When the voice of fear rises, do not argue with it. Do not entertain it. Do not fight it. Simply drown it out with truth. Speak again, there is no power in lack. There is no reality in debt. My words are the seed of abundance, and they now bloom in my life. Say it again and again until the vibration of lack cannot live in your atmosphere. The money may not come on the first repetition, nor the 10th, nor the 100th. But know this, it must come. The law does not forget. The law does not sleep. The law does not mock, it delivers. What are you saying about your money today? Are you declaring divine increase or rehearsing your worry? Are you repeating limitation or proclaiming abundance? The universe listens, not to your feelings, but to your decree. Say, I am now linked to an infinite supply. My channels are wide open. The riches of the universe now flow freely and joyfully into my life. Money comes not through pressure, but through permission. And permission is granted through the word. When you speak it, believe it. When you believe it, receive it. When you receive it, give thanks and repeat again. The repetition is not to convince God. It is to align your own heart with the rhythm of divine flow. Every repetition is a brick laid in your invisible bank account. And one day, seemingly all at once, the dam breaks and the waters of abundance pour forth. Do not concern yourself with how. Do not strain to figure out through whom. Do not limit the channels. Simply say, unexpected income now pours into my life. I am a magnet for divine prosperity. All financial doors are now flung open before me. And as you say it, feel the shift within. See the doors open. Feel the weight of struggle lift. Sense the divine ease now entering your field. Keep saying it until it becomes the only voice you hear. Until your inner world is so filled with light that darkness has no place to land. There will be days when appearances try to deceive you, days when the outer world whispers lack, but even then, especially then, you must repeat the truth, not weakly, not questioningly, but boldly. You must say, I am unfazed by appearances. I walk by divine truth, not by sight. My wealth is assured, and money now flows in avalanches of abundance. This is not blind repetition. This is sacred work. This is the labor of the soul. This is the cleansing of false belief, the renewal of mind, the activation of divine circuitry. Say it when you don't believe it. Say it when you do. Say it until every fiber of your being vibrates with certainty. Say it until your vibration matches the frequency of wealth. Say it until the money comes, and even then, say it still. Your words are spiritual commands. Spoken faith activates divine substance. When you speak with conviction, when you utter words charged with belief, you are not simply making sounds in the air. You are shaping unseen forces into form. Words are more than mere communication tools. They are containers of power, vibrations that move through the ethers and take root in the invisible world. And once rooted, they begin to grow into visible manifestations. Your word is your wand, your tool of creation, your direct link to divine supply. If you understood the magnitude of each word you speak, you would never again speak of lack, delay, or limitation. You would guard your tongue as though it were the gatekeeper to your fortune, because it is. The spiritual law does not respond to complaints, worries, or fears. It does not react to panic or pressure. It only responds to truth, to law, to faith spoken out loud with authority. The word spoken in faith activates the substance of the universe. Divine substance is the formless intelligence behind every form. It is the invisible storehouse from which all riches flow. It is always present, always abundant, always waiting to be shaped. But it remains still until it is stirred by the creative word. When you declare, "Money comes to me now, swiftly and surely," you are not just hoping, you are directing the energy of substance into a specific pattern. That pattern, once established, begins to draw to you people, opportunities, and resources that match your decree. But here is the key. Your word must not be hollow. It must not be wrapped in fear or clothed in contradiction. If you speak words of prosperity but live in inner doubt, the command is divided and the result is delay. The law hears the dominant vibration. If the inner voice whispers, "It's not working," while your lips say, "I am wealthy," the law follows the whisper. This is why spoken faith is so powerful. Faith must be active, not passive. It must be spoken, declared, and affirmed with unwavering certainty. Faith is not just a feeling, it is a force. And when that force is put into words, it becomes the most powerful spiritual weapon in your arsenal. Think of your words as divine instructions. You are the architect, and your words are the blueprints. Would you build a palace with weak lines and missing rooms? No. You would design it clearly, beautifully, and with purpose. Do the same with your declarations. Speak wealth, speak increase, speak divine supply. Say, "I am now surrounded by divine substance. It flows to me and through me as money, opportunity, and support." Let that be your design. Let that be the spiritual command you give the universe. Many believe that they must wait for some outer sign before they can speak with certainty, but that is the reversal of the law. The outer world does not lead the inner, it follows it. You do not speak because something has happened. You speak so that it will happen, and the more consistent your words, the more magnetic your vibration becomes. Money, like all things, is energy. It gravitates towards certainty, not confusion. It is drawn to the voice that knows what it wants, claims it, and does not waver. Speak with the tone of one who already possesses. Say, "The money I desire is already mine by divine right. It is now manifesting in perfect timing and perfect ways." Say it often. Say it with power. Say it until your entire being aligns with it. There is no need to beg or plead. You are not asking the universe to be generous. You are reminding it of the law. You are issuing a decree. The law does not respond to desperation. It responds to direction. It is like a divine employee, waiting for your clear instruction, and the instruction must be given in the form of words. Silent wishes have little force, but a spoken word, backed by spiritual authority, moves mountains. This is why it is written, You shall decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. Not you shall hope or wonder or wish, but decree. A decree is final, it is confident, it leaves no room for debate. That is how you must speak when activating divine substance. Every day you are making declarations, whether you realize it or not. I can't afford this. Money's always tight. Things never work out for me. These are declarations too, but they are unwise ones. They are commands cloaked in complaint, and the law, being impartial, obeys them just as it would a command of wealth. You do not get what you want. You get what you consistently affirm. This is why the first step to wealth is the purification of speech. Listen to your words. Watch what comes out of your mouth in casual conversation. Are you reinforcing lack or proclaiming abundance? Are you echoing fear or speaking faith? Every word is a seed, and each seed produces after its kind. The beautiful truth is this: you can begin again at any moment. You can change your words and change your world. Right now, you can begin to speak the language of wealth. You can saturate your environment with the vibration of prosperity simply by the way you speak. Say, I have more than enough. Money is easy to come by. I am richly supported by divine substance. Say it not just once, but over and over until it becomes your dominant tone. This is not vain repetition. It is spiritual conditioning. It is the reprogramming of mind and matter. Just as the earth yields fruit to the farmer who plants faithfully, so will your life yield results when your words are planted with care. Speak as one who has authority, because you do. The kingdom of supply is within you, waiting to be called forth. The more you speak abundance, the more you awaken the inner stream of riches that flows through your spirit. You are not waiting for wealth. You are releasing it. You are not chasing money. You are commanding it to appear. And the tool of that command is your word. But it must be more than wishful thinking. It must be the utterance of spiritual knowing. That knowing comes through repetition, meditation, and inner alignment. The more you say it, the more you believe it. And the more you believe it, the more power your word holds. Speak to your finances as though they were listening, because they are. Speak to your wallet, your bank account, your job, your business. Say, you are now blessed with divine increase. You are expanding with ease and joy. You are filled with abundance and never empty. Speak these words aloud. Let them ring out in your home, in your car, in your daily routines. Let them become the soundtrack of your life. As you speak, you create. As you create, you attract. And as you attract, you receive. This is the rhythm of divine law, set in motion by the spoken word. There is no force more underestimated than the power of consistent, faith-filled speech. Entire empires have been built on the strength of a spoken vision. Miracles have been set in motion by a single decree. When you speak from your divine identity, you awaken a force that cannot be stopped. Your words do not evaporate. They go forth and shape substance into form. They gather supply, organize events, and draw forth what is needed. Your role is not to figure out how, but to speak what is so in the realm of spirit. Let your words become the law of your life. Let them form a new financial destiny. Refuse to speak poverty again. Refuse to declare lack. Use your tongue as the instrument of wealth. Say daily, divine substance flows to me now in expected and unexpected ways. I am richly provided for. My word is a magnet for money. Let these declarations become your habit, your rhythm, your daily practice. Do not let outer appearances silence your inner truth. Speak louder, speak firmer, speak with the calm boldness of one who knows the law is on their side. Speak until your environment shifts. Speak until the invisible becomes visible. Speak until divine substance, stirred by your unwavering word, rushes to form the very reality you have proclaimed. Repetition dissolves doubt and reprograms the subconscious for abundance. The mind, like a garden, grows whatever is planted and nurtured. It does not discriminate between seeds of truth or seeds of fear. It simply produces what has been consistently sown. When you repeat a truth long enough, especially in the language of prosperity and divine supply, you begin to loosen the grip of fear, dissolve the walls of limitation, and overwrite the old scripts that once ruled your financial reality. Doubt is not a powerful force. It is a persistent one, and it is only erased by something even more persistent, the repeated word of truth. What has been planted by years of worry or lack-based conditioning can only be uprooted by a stronger, louder, more consistent message of abundance. This message, spoken again and again, becomes the dominant vibration of your inner world. The subconscious mind is like a sacred soil. It does not question. It receives every word, every image, every emotion, and makes it real in the outer world. If you say, money is hard to get, often enough, that belief becomes law for you. If you say, I'm always broke, even in jest, the subconscious obeys. It listens not only to the content of your speech, but to the emotion behind it, the frequency you repeat it with, and the consistency with which it is fed. This is why repetition is not just helpful, it is essential. It is not enough to speak abundance once and hope it takes root. You must speak it until it becomes the only truth your inner world knows. Say it again and again, until it moves from your lips to your heart, and from your heart into every cell of your being. The mind has been trained for limitation for far too long. It has heard the world say, there's not enough, money is a struggle, only the lucky get rich. These ideas, repeated over and over from childhood, from society, from past experiences, create a belief system rooted in lack. But what was built by repetition can be dismantled by repetition. Just as a path in a forest is carved by many footsteps, so are neural pathways in the brain formed by frequent thoughts. When you begin to speak differently, when you say things like, wealth flows to me easily and freely, or I am aligned with infinite supply, you begin to carve a new mental path. At first it may feel foreign, even uncomfortable, but each time you repeat it, the soil of the mind becomes more receptive. Repetition is the key that unlocks new programming. It is not the dramatic moment of insight, but the quiet persistence of a new word that changes a life. The old beliefs did not take root in a day, and neither will the new ones. But if you are willing to repeat, even when you see no evidence, even when the outer world seems to mock your words, you will begin to feel the shift. Doubt cannot survive where truth is consistently spoken. Like fog before the rising sun, it begins to dissolve in the presence of steady illumination. That illumination is your declaration, spoken daily, hourly, minute by minute if necessary. I am divinely supported. I am financially secure. All that I need flows to me with ease. What you say repeatedly, you begin to feel. What you feel, you begin to believe. What you believe, you begin to expect. And what you expect becomes your experience. It all begins with repetition. The first time you say, money comes to me now, your old beliefs may laugh. But keep saying it. Let the echo of truth grow louder than the whisper of doubt. Let it become a rhythm, a drumbeat in your consciousness. Morning, noon, and night, speak it until your heart agrees. Speak it until your body relaxes in the safety of knowing. Speak it until your environment begins to mirror the abundance you've declared. This is not vain repetition. It is sacred reprogramming. Every word repeated in faith is a spiritual act. Each affirmation is a brick laid in the structure of your new financial reality. You are building not just a belief, but a vibration, a magnetic field that draws to you the form of your repeated thought. The universe responds to vibration. It does not respond to scattered hope or occasional declaration. It aligns itself with your dominant tone. Repetition is how you set that tone. Like a tuning fork, your words ring out and attract matching frequencies. The more you repeat the truth of your wealth, the more your world vibrates with evidence of it. Doubt may still visit, but it will not stay where it is unwelcome. and your repetition makes it unwelcome. It creates an inner atmosphere too strong, too radiant, too certain for fear to take root. When you say, "I always have more than enough," even when the bank account disagrees, you are not lying. You are realigning. You are calling things that be not as though they are, and in time they will be. This is the power of repeated truth. It does not bow to circumstance, it transforms it. It does not wait for proof, it creates it. Think of the most successful people in the world, not just in wealth, but in peace, in fulfillment. Their words are different. They speak abundance as a normal state, not a distant dream. And if you listen closely, you will hear repetition in their speech. I always land on my feet. Opportunities always find me. Money flows to me easily. These are not random sayings. They are repeated declarations that have shaped their world. You have the same power. You can say, every day in every way, I am becoming more prosperous. And let that become the seed of your new reality. Start with one phrase, one simple truth. Divine supply is now meeting all my needs. Say it over and over. Write it, whisper it, sing it, meditate on it. Let it become the new melody in your mental atmosphere. And then add another. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. Let these phrases become the script of your life. Do not worry about how it sounds. Do not wait to feel ready. Just speak. Speak and speak again. The subconscious does not need proof, it needs repetition. The heart does not need logic. It needs consistency. The universe does not need pleading. It needs clarity. And you, beloved, are the one who gives that clarity. You are the sower of words. You are the cultivator of truth. The more often you water the seeds of wealth with repetition, the faster they bloom into visible riches. You may not see it right away, but each repetition is a drop of power, and over time, those drops become a river of confidence, a river of evidence, a river of results. There is no need to be perfect. You may forget. You may slip into old habits. Simply return. Speak again. Repetition is stronger than failure. It is stronger than mood. It is stronger than doubt. Repetition is your path back to alignment. It is your tool of transformation. It is the steady flame that burns through the fog of fear and lights the way forward. You are not trying to convince the universe. You are convincing yourself, and once you are convinced, the universe must respond. It has no choice. It mirrors your inner world. Repetition is how you build that inner world strong, bright, and rich with certainty. So begin again each day, each hour if needed. Speak your truth. Declare your wealth. Affirm your abundance. Let your voice become the architect of your fortune. Let your words build bridges from the invisible to the visible, from thought to form, from dream to demonstration. Let the power of repetition become your greatest ally in manifesting the wealth that is already yours by divine inheritance. Money responds to certainty, not desperation. Declare with inner authority. The law that governs supply does not respond to the loudness of a plea or the number of times one begs. It is moved only by the quality of consciousness behind the words spoken. The universe is not impressed by fear-based effort, nor is it stirred by emotional exhaustion. It listens only to the vibration of inner knowing. Desperation, though intense, signals doubt, lack, and disbelief. It is the energy of separation, the feeling that one is cut off from good, from provision, from divine flow. Certainty, on the other hand, is a quiet command. It does not shout, yet it carries the weight of truth. It does not beg, yet it receives all. Money is energy, and it is attracted to the magnetic pull of unwavering faith. There is a place within every soul that knows all needs are already met. That supply is not something to be earned, but something to be claimed. That place must be awakened, and it is awakened by the spoken word wrapped in inner authority. Authority does not come from the outer world. It rises from divine identity. When you speak from the knowing that you are one with the infinite, your words carry power. You are no longer asking life to be kind. You are declaring what is already true in spirit. You are not waiting for conditions to change. You are commanding the invisible to become visible. Certainty is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the natural tone of a soul in harmony with law. Every time you say, "I am wealthy," and mean it, you send a signal into the ethers that rearranges substance. But if you say, "I need money so badly," and your voice trembles with fear, you are declaring the opposite of what you seek. Desperation reinforces lack. Certainty invokes fulfillment. You cannot fool the law. It responds to vibration, not vocabulary. You can speak the most poetic affirmation, but if it is laced with anxiety, the result will be delay. The law is just. It gives you not what you request, but what you embody. The way you speak reveals what you expect. If you expect money to come, it will. If you expect struggle, it too will obey. To declare with authority does not mean to demand from the ego. It means to align your speech with your spiritual truth, and your truth is abundance. You are not here to earn worthiness. You are here to express it. You are not here to chase money. You are here to receive it, to circulate it, to allow it to flow through you as an agent of divine activity. The more you remember this, the more natural it becomes to speak with clarity and conviction. Say, "Money flows to me freely because I am aligned with divine law." Say it with the still power of inner knowing, not the restless energy of need. Let your words be rooted in truth, not panic. The world may tell you that confidence is built by results, but in spiritual law, the opposite is true. Results are built by confidence. When you decide that you are already supported, that money is already on its way, you send out a decree that cannot return void. Your job is not to figure out the channels through which money comes. Your job is to maintain the consciousness that draws it. That consciousness is not one of grasping, but of gratitude. It is not one of worry, but of worship. It is the consciousness that says, "It is done," even before the evidence shows. That is the tone money responds to. That is the voice that moves mountains. Desperation carries a frantic energy. It repels the very thing it seeks. It says, "I don't believe it will happen," and that disbelief becomes the barrier. Certainty is calm. It is relaxed in the assurance of divine provision. It does not chase, it attracts. It does not rush, it receives. You can feel the difference in your body when you shift from fear to faith. The tightness loosens. The breath deepens, the energy softens. That is the place from which declarations must come. That is the state in which your word becomes law. The certainty you carry within is what activates the divine machinery that brings supply into form. Many try to force manifestation by repeating affirmations without shifting their emotional state. They speak of wealth while feeling like beggars inside. But true declaration is not mechanical. It is magnetic. It is the echo of your true nature, spoken into the field of possibility. When you say, "All my needs are now met," and you feel the peace of that being true, you are not just affirming, you are creating. You are issuing a spiritual command backed by the full force of your being. That is what the law responds to. That is what money is drawn to. There is no need to plead for what is already yours. The universe is not withholding. The source of your supply is not a reluctant giver. It is a flowing stream, and your certainty opens the gates. Desperation slams them shut. You may think your worry shows sincerity, but worry is not a virtue. It is a blockage. It is a signal to life that you do not trust its goodness. Certainty, even in the absence of proof, is a signal of alignment. It is the vibration of faith. It says, "Though I see nothing, I know all is well. Though the bank account is empty, I am rich in divine substance. Though the way is unclear, the supply is guaranteed." This inner posture is not something you fake. It is something you cultivate. You cultivate it through repetition, through meditation, through choosing your words wisely. You strengthen it each time you refuse to speak out of fear and instead choose to speak out of truth. I am a channel for divine abundance. Money comes to me in perfect ways. Say it until your being believes it. Say it until your tone shifts. Say it until your voice carries the resonance of certainty. The universe knows the difference between a cry and a command. It responds to the command. When you feel desperation rise, pause. Do not speak from that place. Go within. Remind yourself of who you are. Breathe into your divine identity. Then speak. Speak from the throne of your inner temple. Speak as one who has never been separate from supply. Speak as one who commands, not as one who doubts. That moment of pause can change everything. It resets your vibration. It reorients your direction. It allows you to speak with the power that transforms. Money is not a cold force. It is a reflection of your inner state. When you are centered, open, and confident, it flows easily. When you are tense, closed, and doubtful, it stagnates. This is not punishment. It is precision. The law is perfect. It gives you not what you want, but what you are in alignment with. So become aligned with certainty. Speak it, live it, embody it. Let your inner dialogue match the reality you wish to experience. Say, it is mine now. I receive with grace. I walk in abundance. Let these words flow from the seat of your soul. The tone of your speech reveals your vibration. Listen not only to the words you say, but how you say them. Are you affirming wealth while bracing for lack? Are you declaring abundance while fearing bills? Be honest with yourself, then recalibrate. Speak again, this time with alignment. Let your voice be still, strong, and sure. Let your energy be one of having, not needing. Let your declarations rise not from fear, but from the certainty that all things are already yours in the invisible realm. The unseen becomes seen through the gateway of the spoken word, and the power of that word is multiplied when spoken with belief. Let your speech become the evidence of your inner wealth. Let your words be saturated with confidence. Let every sentence carry the stamp of divine authority. You are not small, you are not lacking. You are the mouthpiece of infinite abundance. When you speak with that awareness, the entire universe bends to deliver what you have declared. Your only task is to stay in that state, to return to it when you stray, to train yourself in the language of certainty until it becomes your default voice. You are not speaking to make something happen. You are speaking because it already has. You are declaring what is true in spirit, knowing that the outer will follow. This is the difference between desperation and certainty. Desperation prays from the wound. Certainty speaks from the wholeness. One says please, the other says thank you. One says I lack, the other says I receive. Choose the latter, train yourself in it. Let your words rise like a banner of faith. Let them be a beacon to supply. Let them be the bridge from idea to reality. Let them carry the vibration of one who knows the law is working. The supply is flowing, and the money is already on its way. Divine supply is limitless and seeks expression through your spoken word. There is no shortage in the infinite. There is no ceiling in divine mind. All limitation is man-made, born of false belief, accepted through suggestion, and repeated until it becomes a pattern. But the truth remains unchanged. Supply is not limited by time, place, person, or condition. It is everywhere, always available, endlessly abundant, and it waits patiently to be called forth through your word. The universe is overflowing with substance that takes form as money, as opportunities, as ideas, as resources, as anything you desire. This substance is intelligent, responsive, and deeply obedient to the law. It cannot express itself unless summoned, and it is summoned by the spoken word, aligned with spiritual truth. You are not separate from this supply. You are not here to strive for it, beg for it, or chase it. You are here to command it into expression by the authority of your divine nature. The spoken word is the key, the activator, the spiritual switch that opens the flow. Until you speak it, it waits. Until you decree it, it remains unshaped. But the moment you give it voice, with conviction and alignment, it begins to move, to respond, to shape itself according to your intention. The law does not resist, it does not question, it obeys, but it obeys the voice of certainty, not the murmur of doubt. It responds to the decree, not the plea, and the decree must be spoken. You may wonder how something invisible can be turned into something tangible. The answer is the word. Words carry frequency. Words are creative. Words form pictures in the mind and commands in the spiritual field. Every word you speak shapes the movement of substance. When you say, "I am always provided for," you are aligning with the truth of your being. When you say, "Money flows to me in rivers of abundance," you are setting divine substance into motion. These words are not fantasy, they are spiritual instruction. They are not wishful thinking, they are law in action. And divine supply is thrilled to move when summoned by truth. Many people live their lives repeating words of lack, words of fear, words of limitation, and then wonder why their world reflects lack, fear, and limitation. It is not a punishment, it is a mirror. Life mirrors your words because your words are the outflow of your belief, and belief is the mold into which substance is poured. If your belief says, "It's hard to make money," then your word will reflect that, and the supply will follow suit. If your belief says, "I never have enough," then your word becomes a wall, and divine substance cannot flow freely. But the moment you begin to speak the truth, even if your belief is still shaky, something begins to shift. The law is so faithful that even a mustard seed of truth, when spoken, begins to open doors. Divine supply is not selective. It is not reserved for the few. It does not play favorites. It does not depend on education, background, or status. It only depends on alignment. It depends on your willingness to step into your spiritual authority and speak with clarity. Your birthright is abundance, and your voice is the tool by which that birthright is realized. The wealth of the universe is not outside you. It is within you, waiting to be expressed through you, and that expression begins with the word. Every time you say, "I am connected to unlimited supply," you strengthen that connection in your awareness. Every time you say, "There is always more than enough for me," you dissolve the belief in lack. Every time you say, "All that is mine by divine right now flows to me with ease and joy," you open the channels through which divine substance can manifest. These are not just sentences, they are spiritual decrees. They are seeds planted in the soil of the soul, and divine substance responds to them as surely as the earth responds to the seed of a flower. The mind, when left untrained, tends to repeat the old patterns of fear and limitation. It picks up beliefs from the world and repeats them without question. But the trained mind becomes a channel of truth, and the trained tongue becomes a vessel of creation. You are here to train your word into alignment with spiritual law. You are here to speak as one with authority, to declare your abundance, to invite divine supply into your world. And that training begins with repetition, with intention, with vigilance. You must become aware of what you are saying and choose words that reflect what you want to experience, not what you fear, not what you see, but what is true in divine mind. The more you speak abundance, the more abundance you will experience, not because your words are magic spells, but because your words are the evidence of your consciousness. They reveal your agreement with truth or with error. And the moment you align your speech with divine law, the invisible begins to rearrange itself to match your vibration. Divine supply has no limits. It is not bound by what you have seen before. It is not contained by logic or statistics. It flows freely where it is invited, and your word is the invitation. This is why silence is not always golden. To stay silent when you should speak truth is to delay your own demonstration. Speak even when you do not feel it yet. Speak until you do. Speak until your environment begins to echo your declarations. Speak until your words become the only truth you hear. Say, there is an endless stream of wealth flowing to me now. Say, I am a magnet for divine substance. Say, every day, in every way, I am becoming more prosperous. Let these affirmations pour out of your mouth until they carve a new groove in your mind and anchor a new pattern in your life. You may not see immediate evidence, but the law is not on your clock. It moves in divine timing, and your part is to continue speaking truth regardless of appearances. Appearances are temporary. Truth is eternal. When you continue to declare your abundance, even when the bank account says otherwise, you are demonstrating mastery. You are choosing truth over condition. You are aligning with the limitless, and the limitless must respond. Not might respond, must respond. It is not a matter of if, but when. And the more consistent you are in your word, the sooner the manifestation appears. Do not allow outer events to dictate your inner speech. Do not allow temporary challenges to silence your declaration. In fact, those are the moments to speak louder, clearer, stronger. When the pressure rises, the power of your word becomes even more crucial. Speak the truth of divine supply in the face of seeming lack, and you will pierce the illusion. Speak it until the illusion collapses. Speak it until divine substance takes shape in the very places where there once was lack. Your word is that powerful. There are currents of wealth all around you, invisible rivers of supply flowing through the spiritual ethers. These rivers are waiting to be directed. Your word is the dam that channels them into your life. The moment you say, divine substance flows through me now, you create a pathway. The moment you say, my financial channels are wide open, the river begins to move. You are not inventing the supply. You are allowing it. You are not creating it. You are calling it into visibility. The source was never dry. The connection was simply blocked by false belief and unwise speech. But that can change the moment you choose to speak from truth. The abundance you seek is not far away. It is not hidden. It is here now, surrounding you, waiting for your invitation. And that invitation must be spoken, not just once, but often. Not just when you feel good, but even when you feel afraid, especially when you feel afraid. The spoken word is your anchor in storms. It is your ladder out of pits. It is your bridge from the invisible to the visible. Let it become your habit, your refuge, your power. Every word of truth you speak adds to the momentum of your demonstration. It builds, it gathers, it accelerates. Even when you cannot see it, something is moving, something is shifting, something is responding. Divine supply is limitless. It seeks expression. It wants to fill every area of your life with beauty, with provision, with freedom. Your spoken word is the key that opens the floodgates. Say, I am now in harmony with divine abundance. Say, I speak the word and the law fulfills it. Say, there is nothing missing in my life, for I live in the fullness of supply. Keep saying it until it becomes the only reality you recognize. Speak as though the supply is already flowing, because in truth it is. And your word makes it real in your world. Appearances lie, but truth repeated reshapes your reality. The outer world is a mirror, but it is not the source. It is a reflection, and reflections can be distorted by fear, past beliefs, generational patterns, and cultural conditioning. If you look at appearances and take them as the final word, you will be misled. You will speak from reaction instead of spiritual authority. You will affirm lack instead of abundance. You will respond to what is seen instead of declaring what is spiritually true. Appearances are temporary forms. They are not fixed. They are not eternal. And they do not carry power unless you empower them through belief. Truth, on the other hand, is unchanging. It is the law, and it can be repeated until the appearance dissolves and reality transforms. Many people speak their circumstances instead of speaking their truth. They say, I'm broke, because the bank account is low. They say, I can't afford that, because the current flow seems small. But every time they speak the appearance, they deepen its roots. They reinforce it. They tie themselves to it. The appearance begins to grow not because it has power, but because it has been agreed upon, spoken, believed, and repeated. This is how appearances become prisons. But just as words created the bars, words can also shatter them. Truth, when spoken consistently, begins to overtake the appearance. It begins to reshape it from the inside out. The invisible laws respond not to the facts of the outer world, but to the vibrations of inner belief spoken through word. You may see lack, but that is not the truth. You may see delay, but that is not the law. You may see limitation, but that is not your destiny. These are appearances, reflections of past thoughts, old stories, and inherited ideas. They are echoes, not prophecies. They are symptoms, not sources. And if you keep your eyes on the symptoms, your inner state will waver. Your word will lose power. You will speak from fear rather than faith. The key is to anchor your attention on the truth and to speak it louder than the appearance. Say, this may be what I see, but this is not what I believe. Divine supply is now pouring into my life in ways seen and unseen. The truth of abundance overrides this appearance. Repetition is the spiritual tool that rewires perception. When you say the truth over and over, you begin to feel it, and when you feel it, you begin to see it. The world within shifts before the world without does. You may not be able to change the appearance instantly, but you can change your response to it. You can say, though this situation looks uncertain, I know that divine substance is moving. I declare that all things are working for my good. You may feel nothing at first. You may doubt your own words. But say them anyway. Truth spoken is truth activated. The power lies not in how you feel, but in the alignment of your words with the law. The law does not need your emotion. It needs your agreement. The moment you declare the truth in the face of contradiction, you separate yourself from the illusion. You claim your authority. You stop being a passive observer and become a conscious creator. You step into your role as one who commands reality, not one who obeys appearances. The more often you do this, the easier it becomes. At first it may feel like lying, but it is not a lie. It is a higher truth. The appearance says you lack. The truth says you are supplied. The appearance says it's too late. The truth says divine timing is perfect. The appearance says it's not possible. The truth says, with the law, all things are possible. You do not need to argue with appearances. You do not need to fight them or resist them. You simply need to out-talk them with truth. Let the repetition of spiritual facts drown out the volume of outer noise. Say, I live in a world of infinite substance. I am not limited by this condition. My supply is spiritual and cannot be interrupted. Speak these words in the face of every bill, every delay, every doubt. Say them until the appearance no longer affects your emotions. That is the sign that truth has taken root. That is the point where the outer begins to yield to the inner. When you repeat the truth, you are not trying to convince life. You are recalibrating your own mind. You are building a new frequency. You are becoming the match to a higher outcome. Appearances are just delayed reflections. They show you what has been, not what will be. But your words shape what will be. Your word is a mold, and divine substance fills that mold. Speak lack, and lack takes form. Speak abundance, and abundance materializes. This is the invisible process behind every visible result. If you want your outer world to change, you must first change what you say about it. Repetition has the power to wear down the most stubborn false belief. It chisels away at old thoughts, carving space for new patterns to take hold. You may have lived for years under the spell of lack, but the daily declaration of truth begins to break that spell. It may take time, it may feel mechanical, it may even feel pointless, but keep going. There is no wasted truth. Every repetition deposits spiritual substance into the atmosphere of your life. Every declaration plants a seed in the soil of consciousness. And at the appointed time, those seeds break through the surface and become visible blessings. You cannot be casual with appearances. If you do not speak against them, they will speak for you. They will try to define you. They will try to limit you, but you are not what you see. You are what you speak in alignment with spiritual law. The The world was spoken into being, and your world is no different. If you want to change it, you must speak something new. You must affirm what is unseen until it becomes seen. You must trust that the truth is greater than the fact, and that the word is greater than the world. Speak boldly. Speak with joy. Speak as one who knows that reality is plastic to the word. Let your repetition be your tool, your weapon, your instrument of transformation. Every time you say, "I am rich in divine substance," you are writing a new script. Every time you say, "My financial reality is changing for the better," you are editing the story. Every time you say, "I walk in abundance regardless of what I see," you are placing yourself above the illusion. And when you stay in that vibration long enough, the appearance must change. It has no choice. It cannot resist a soul that is anchored in truth. Do not let the delay deceive you. Delay is not denial. It is alignment. It is the invisible catching up with the visible. It is divine order preparing the best possible outcome. Your job is not to figure out the timing. Your job is to continue speaking the truth without ceasing, to declare what is spiritually accurate until it becomes physically evident, to affirm what you desire instead of what you fear, to speak as the master of your life, not the victim of circumstance. The great turning point comes when you no longer wait for evidence to feel secure, when you no longer require validation from the outer to know that the inner is working. When you can say, "Even though I see lack, I speak abundance." You have crossed into the realm of mastery. You have become the cause, not the effect, and from that place, transformation begins. Speak the truth in every room. Speak it to your reflection. Speak it to your money. Speak it to your home. Speak it to your business. Let your environment become saturated with the sound of your declarations. Let your speech echo through the ethers and return with multiplied blessings. Let the walls hear it. Let the air carry it. Let the silence be filled with your voice declaring, "I live in an abundant universe. I am supplied beyond measure. All that I need comes to me now in perfect ways." There is no power in the appearance unless you grant it. There is no truth in the lack unless you affirm it. Withdraw your agreement. Withdraw your attention and place it fully on the truth. Repeat the truth until it becomes your only reality. Repeat the truth until the world has no choice but to reflect it. Repeat the truth until your life becomes a living demonstration of the law. Repeat it not with desperation, but with delight, not with anxiety, but with assurance. Repeat it because it is the highest thing you can do. Repeat it because you are shaping substance. Repeat it because appearances lie, but truth, when spoken again and again, remakes the world you live in. Every declaration builds the invisible structure of your financial freedom. Words are not idle sounds. They are molds into which substance flows. Every time you speak a word aligned with divine law, you are not merely expressing an idea. You are laying a foundation in the unseen realm. That foundation becomes form. That form becomes your experience, and your experience shapes the reality you live in. People often look for results before they have built the structure. They ask for harvest without planting. They seek fruit where they have not spoken life. But in the realm of supply, nothing happens until the word is spoken. The word is the architect. The repetition of truth is the construction crew. And faith is the material with which the structure is filled. Each word you speak carries frequency, intention, and alignment. When you say, "I am abundantly supplied," you are placing a beam into the invisible architecture of wealth. When you say, "Money flows to me easily and continually," you are adding a doorway to receive. When you say, "All channels are open for divine prosperity to pour into my life," you are building windows to let in the light of supply. These are not affirmations of hope. They are spiritual blueprints. They do not beg. They declare. They do not wish. They establish. The structure may not be visible to the eye, but it is real. And the more you declare it, the more solid it becomes. Some people tear down what they build by speaking truth one day and contradiction the next. They say, I am wealthy, but then lament their current state. They say, money comes to me now, but then speak worry when a bill arrives. This confusion weakens the structure. It wobbles, it stalls, and eventually it collapses under the weight of double-mindedness. To build the structure of financial freedom, your declarations must be consistent. They must be unwavering. They must become the only words you entertain. Even when the outer world screams otherwise, you keep building. You keep laying the bricks of spiritual truth. You say, this is what I declare, and I do not move from it. There is no wasted word in the divine process. Every declaration makes an imprint on the field of substance. Every time you speak the truth, you add another layer to the structure. You may not see it yet, but it is forming, and the time will come when what you have built within becomes undeniable without. You will step into a life that feels effortless, not because you were lucky, but because you took the time to speak it into being. You built the invisible house before you moved in, and once it is built, the universe rushes to fill it with manifestation. Repetition is the way the structure gains strength. A one-time statement is a seed, but repeated declarations are sunlight, water, and nourishment. When you say it once, you place the intention. When you say it twice, you affirm the belief. When you say it daily, you begin to shift your inner reality. And when your inner reality changes, your outer experience must follow. This is the law. The structure becomes so firm, so strong, that no appearance can shake it. It becomes your stronghold of truth, your fortress of abundance, your dwelling place in the infinite. People wonder why some receive with ease while others struggle. The difference lies in the structure they have built. One has laid a foundation of truth and continued building. The other has spoken truth occasionally, but torn it down with fear. You cannot build a palace by visiting the site once a month. You must show up daily with your words. Your declarations are your tools. Your mouth is your hammer. Your voice is your chisel. You are the master builder of your reality, and every word counts. Declare even when you feel doubt. Declare even when you feel nothing. The structure does not care how you feel, it responds to the word. Feelings catch up. Emotions align later. But the word must come first. Say, I am financially free. Say, my income is constantly increasing. Say, opportunities to prosper find me everywhere. These are not empty phrases. These are creative acts. You are building something eternal, something stronger than circumstance, something untouched by economy, politics, or statistics. As you continue, something shifts within. The declarations move from mind to heart. They become not just words, but truth. You begin to feel what you say. Your energy rises. Your confidence grows. You no longer speak to convince yourself. You speak because you know asterisk. And this knowing saturates your being. It attracts new ideas. It brings inspired action. It aligns you with divine timing. And all of it rests on the foundation your words have created. Sometimes the structure builds slowly, not because it is failing, but because old beliefs must be cleared. You may be building over ruins of fear, shame, doubt, and inherited limitation. That clearing takes time, but even in the clearing, your declarations are at work. They are tearing down what no longer serves you. They are breaking old patterns. They are uprooting poverty consciousness. Speak them boldly. Speak them with fire. Speak them with the authority of one who knows they are not hoping for money. They are building wealth from the inside out. You will know your structure is nearly complete when you begin to feel peace in the face of challenge. When you can receive a bill and smile, knowing it is already paid in the unseen. When you can see a dip in income and say, something greater is arriving. This is not denial. This is mastery. This is the evidence that your structure has become more real to you than the appearance. And when that happens, the outer must conform. It cannot help but rearrange. It must reflect what you have spoken into the ethers. Keep going. Do not stop halfway. Do not pause because you see no result yet. The structure is growing, it is forming, and it will soon be visible. Speak as though it already exists, because in truth it does. Speak not to create. It is already created. Speak to align yourself with what is already yours. Say, I now step into the wealth I have already built in the unseen. I now live in the prosperity I have already declared. Your declarations are investments. Everyone carries compound interest. They accumulate, they build momentum, they magnetize. The universe does not ignore consistent truth. It honors it, it responds, it expands it. Even if no one else hears you, the law hears. The substance hears. The invisible forces of creation hear, and they begin working in your favor. Doors open, checks arrive, clients call, ideas flourish, but none of it begins until you speak, until you declare, until you build the structure. Let every morning begin with construction. Let your first words be ones of power. Let your home echo with truth. Let your heart be filled with declarations. Say, money flows freely through my life. Say, I am aligned with unlimited abundance. Say, everything I touch prospers. Let these words become your habit, your atmosphere, your lifestyle. Let them shape the space you live in until even the air vibrates with prosperity. When worry comes, speak louder. When fear whispers, shout the truth. When appearances mock you, answer them with law. Say, I am not moved by what I see. I am grounded in what I speak. This is how you build a structure that cannot fall. A structure that stands through storms. A structure that welcomes wealth in all its forms. You do not need to know how the money comes. You only need to build the place for it to land. You only need to create the space with your words. You only need to declare what is yours. The how is not your concern. Your job is to speak, build, trust, and receive. The structure you build today is the experience you live tomorrow. Build with care. Build with joy. Build with power. And never stop building until your life is the reflection of every truth you have ever spoken. Persistence in truth forces the outer world to conform to divine law. This is not a suggestion, but a spiritual certainty. When the truth is spoken again and again with unwavering faith, it exerts pressure on the seen world to take shape in alignment with the unseen. It may appear for a time that nothing is changing. The bills may still arrive. The balance may still seem low, but the spoken truth, when persisted in, begins to shift the invisible gears of the universe. It begins to draw forth supply from unexpected sources. It moves people, places, and events into divine order. The outer world, governed by appearances and time, resists at first, but it cannot withstand the relentless force of truth spoken in faith. Persistence is the divine hammer that knocks down the walls of delay, doubt, and defeat. When you persist in the truth, you are not repeating out of desperation. You are repeating because you understand the nature of spiritual law. You know that what is held in the mind and spoken through the lips again and again becomes part of the fabric of your life. Every declaration of abundance, every affirmation of divine supply, every statement of perfect financial order is a command that must be obeyed. It may not be obeyed immediately in the visible world, but the law is working, and the results are inevitable. Persistence keeps the vibration high. It keeps the energy moving. It keeps the gate open for manifestation to pour in. Those who do not persist live by appearances. They speak the truth for a day and watch the mail for a miracle. When it does not arrive, they speak of lack again. In doing so, they cut off the flow that was just beginning. They halt the divine process before it completes. But those who persist understand that faith is not a moment. It is a frequency. It is a way of being, a way of thinking, and a way of speaking. They say, it does not matter what I see. I know what is real. I know that supply is all around me. I know that my word shapes my world, and I choose to persist in the truth. Persistence is what separates the master from the dabbler. The one who plays with truth like a toy will see little change. The one who uses truth as a tool, a sword, and a key will unlock the treasures of heaven on earth. The persistent one is unmoved by delay. They say, "It is done, though I do not yet see it." They continue to speak the truth until the false dissolves. They continue to declare abundance until all evidence of lack vanishes. They continue to praise the invisible riches until they appear in form. This is not stubbornness. It is spiritual discipline. It is mastery. It is the refusal to let the outer dictate the inner. Persistence wears down resistance, not by force but by spiritual authority. The world has been trained to honor fear, to respect lack, and to bow to struggle. But the one who persists in truth becomes a living contradiction to the lie of limitation. They declare freedom in the face of bondage. They speak wealth in the presence of poverty. They say, "Divine supply knows no recession, no economy, no condition. It flows to me without limit or restriction, because I have spoken it and I persist in that truth." Even when nothing appears to change, everything is changing. The seed planted by your declaration is growing underground. The roots are forming. The stem is pushing upward. The blossom is on its way. But it is persistence that waters the seed. It is persistence that nourishes it with light. It is persistence that protects it from the weeds of doubt and fear. Say it again. Say it louder. Say it clearer. Say it until your very being resonates with the truth of it. Say it until you feel the reality of your wealth as clearly as you see the table in front of you. There will be moments when the outer seems louder than the inner, when fear tries to shout over faith, when the voices of the world say, "Be realistic." But what is realistic? That you are limited, that supply is scarce, that some are meant to struggle while others are born to succeed. No. The only reality is divine abundance. The only reality is infinite supply. The only reality is the law that says what you persist in speaking becomes your life. You must become more loyal to truth than to appearances, more loyal to vision than to memory, more loyal to spirit than to form. Persistence in truth is not about emotion. It is not about feeling good every day. It is about choice. It is about choosing to speak what aligns with divine law regardless of your mood, regardless of your circumstances. You do not wait to feel powerful before you speak powerfully. You speak powerfully until the feeling rises. You do not wait to feel rich before you declare wealth. You declare wealth until the richness becomes your natural vibration. This is how persistence transforms the inner landscape. And once the inner landscape is changed, the outer must reflect it. People often ask how long they must persist. The answer is simple: until the demonstration arrives, until the miracle is seen, until the money is in your hands. You do not ask the farmer how long he must water the field. He waters it until the crop comes. You do not ask the artist how long she must paint. She paints until the vision is on the canvas. You do not ask spirit how long you must declare abundance. You declare it until it is your experience. And when it becomes your experience, you continue declaring it, not out of need, but out of joy. It becomes your song, your rhythm, your heartbeat. Every time you persist, you take a step deeper into your power. You no longer hope, you know. You no longer wish, you decree. You no longer chase, you attract. The outer world cannot hold back from the one who persists. It bends, it yields, it shifts to match the vibration of truth. This is not magic. It is law. Law does not fail. It is not selective. It does not play favorites. It simply responds to the dominant vibration. And persistence ensures that truth becomes the dominant note in your field. There will be distractions. There will be tests. There will be moments when the old patterns try to reassert themselves, but the one who persists has decided. They do not need to feel certain every day. They simply need to speak with authority. They do not negotiate with fear. They replace it with truth. They do not wait to be rescued. They rise into their own divinity. They say, the law is now working for me, and I persist in that knowing. When you persist, you begin to notice the subtle signs. A conversation shifts, a new idea arises, a bill is unexpectedly paid, an invitation comes. These are the signals that your persistence is bearing fruit. But you do not stop when you see signs. You continue. You allow the momentum to build. You keep declaring, keep affirming, keep standing in the knowing that everything you have spoken is already moving into form. Your mind may try to tell you it's not working. That's when you speak louder. Your bank account may try to reflect lack. That's when you declare even more boldly. Your friends may not understand. That's when you smile and persist. Because you are not here to conform to the world. You are here to transform it. You are here to demonstrate the power of spiritual law. And you do that by persisting in truth, no matter what. Eventually, something clicks. Something shifts inside you so deeply that you no longer question. You no longer wonder. You no longer ask when. It's simply asterisk is asterisk. You walk through your day with the calm certainty that what you have spoken is done. You begin to move as if your prayer has already been answered, because it has. You live as though the wealth is already yours, because it is. You stop chasing, and you begin to receive. You stop doubting, and you begin to radiate. The outer world will respond. It has no choice. It must bow to the one who persists in truth. It must open doors, release funds, send helpers, provide answers. It must make way for the one who refuses to move from divine law. The house appears, the business prospers. The account overflows, not because of luck, but because of law. Not because of chance, but because of choice. And the choice was made daily, hourly, repeatedly, to speak the truth, to hold the vision. To persist in what is real. When you understand this, you no longer fear the future. You no longer dread the unknown. You know who you are. You know what you carry. You know that every time you speak the truth and persist in it, the very substance of the universe begins to rearrange itself in your favor. You know that nothing can stand against the one who speaks with faith and refuses to quit. You become the living proof that the invisible is more powerful than the visible, that spirit shapes matter, that truth, when persisted in, becomes form, and that your word, backed by unwavering faith, is the key to the kingdom of abundance that has always been yours.